So when you're dividing decimals, the first thing you have to do is you need to remove your decimal in your divisor. And you do that by moving the decimal to the right until there are no longer any numbers to the right of your decimal. So here we have 2.8, so we need to remove the decimal. So bring the decimal one over to the right, and now 2.8 becomes 28. But remember, anything I do to my divisor, I have to do to my dividend. So here we have 3.45, and I move my decimal to the right once, so I have to move my decimal to the right once here. So bring it here. Now I have 34.5 divided by 28. So and to recap, you need to remove your decimal in your divisor, and I did that by moving it to the right once. And then whatever you do to your divisor, you need to do to your dividend. So I have to move the decimal to the right once here. Alright, after I do that, the decimal in your dividend, you just move it directly up so it's in line with the decimal in your answer. And now all you have to do is just divide as you normally do. So 28 goes into 34 once. 28 times 1 is of course 28. Subtract, I get 6. Bring down my 5. 28 goes into 65 twice. 28 times 2 gives me 56. Subtract, and I'll get 9. Okay, now I have a remainder of 9. I already have a decimal here, so I can just freely add zeros in order to solve my answer completely. So bring my 0 down. 28. How many times does 28 go into 90? 28 goes into 90 3 times. 28 times 3 gives me 84. Then I'll subtract, and I have 6 as a remainder. So for this, I'm only going to solve to the hundreds place. That's all I need to do for most schools or courses. If you wanted to solve further, you just add more zeros or just repeat the process. But that sounds like a lot of fun, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip that. Alright, let's try another example. Let's go with 42.8 divided by 2.5. So, step 1, I need to remove my decimal and my dividend here. So I got to move it over to the right once. So 2.5 becomes 25. And then whatever I do to my divisor, I do to my dividend as well. So move the decimal over to the right once. So now I've got 428 divided by 25. Alright. Now I just divide normally. 25 goes into 42 once. 1 times 25 is 25. Subtract, and I get 17. Now I bring down my 8. 25 goes into 178 7 times. 25 times 7 gives me 175. Now I'd subtract, get a remainder of 3. Okay, now I'm going to solve this problem to the hundreds place. So in order to do that, I need to add a decimal here because I'm going to add zeros. And then the decimal place will go in the same place in my answer. So let me go ahead and add a 0. I'm going to bring it down. How many times is 25 going to 30? It goes into 30 once. 25 times 1 is 25. Subtract. I get 5. Alright, I'm going to add one more 0. And 25. How many times is 25 going to 50? It goes into 50 twice. 25 times 2 is 50. Subtract, and I get no remainders. And that's my answer right here. 17 and 1200ths. Let's try one more. Alright, let's see. Let's go with 0.25 divided by 2500ths divided by 48700ths. Alright, off the bat I can tell this problem is going to be a lot of fun. So, alright. So first thing, I'm dividing a smaller decimal by a bigger decimal, but don't be afraid of that. It's the exact same process. So first, I got my divisor here. I'm going to need to remove this decimal out. So I'm going to move it to the right twice. Now 4.87 is 487. I got to do the same thing to my dividend. Move this to the right twice. And now I got 25 divided by 487. So alright, for this problem I'm probably going to solve to the hundredths or the thousandths place. We'll see how it goes. So off the bat, 487 can't go into 2, and 487 can't go into 25. So I need to add a decimal so I can add in more zeros to make this number larger. So we're going to add a decimal, and we'll say this is 250. 487 still doesn't go into 250 any. Alright, add another 0. How many times is 487 go into 2500? It goes in 5 times. 487 times 5, it's going to be 2,435. Now I just subtract. I got to borrow, so this is a 4. This is a 10, then it becomes a 9 because I need to borrow. Alright, so now I just subtract. 5. 9 minus 3 is 6. 4 minus 4 is 0. And 0. So I got a remainder of 65. I'm going to add another 0. Bring it down. How many times does 487 go into 650? It goes in 1 time. 47 times 1 is 47. Do not subtract. And this is 163. This is my remainder. And this is all you really need to solve to. I just solved for the thousandths place. And if you want to have more fun, you can work this out. But that's too much fun for me. So hopefully this video is helpful. Thanks for watching.